I haven't played a PS1 game with tank controls in as long as I can remember. I usually submitted to just watching my dad play all the games with tank controls growing up, as I was younger than 10 during the PS1 era. So what forgotten game could I have decided to give a shot that would maximize the frustration of never mastering tank controls? Dino Crisis, of course.
You don't hunt them, they hunt you. Dino Crisis, from the makers of Resident Evil.
PlayStation.
I'm a massive fan of Capcom. They have the ability to throw out games even to this day that fill you to the brim with that nostalgic arcadey goodness. The dialogue is always a little weird and their gameplay can be clunky sometimes.
Richard, what happened?
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
But, kind of like your uncle that's always fucking up, you still love him. Well, in 1999, the world was still going pretty crazy over Jurassic Park. Capcom, already having the success of Resident Evil under their belt, decided to make another survival horror title with the focus on dinosaurs. I usually have more info about influences and all that, but that's really it. Capcom said Jurassic Park was fucking cool and made a spooky game with dinosaurs. The SORT Secret Operation Raid Team is being sent out to investigate a research facility on Ibis Island. They have word that a Dr. Kirk is leading a secret weapons project on the facility after faking his death, and your team is tasked with acquiring him. Your team consists of Gale, the mission is the only thing that matters hard-ass, Rick, the jokester, Cooper, this guy that eats shit in the opening sequence of the game, and you, Regina, kind of in the middle ground between Gale and Rick. Things pretty quickly build up to dinosaurs making their entrance. You find a corpse to where Regina reacts with this.
That's disgusting.
Which shows that this isn't her first rodeo, and as strange as it's delivered, I thought this was fucking dope. You investigate a little more and eventually run into the first dinosaur, a velociraptor. It doesn't take too long to realize that dodging is your biggest strength in the game. Your shots barely do anything, and these things are the basic unit of the game. To be honest, I think I only ended up killing like 4 dinosaurs throughout the entire game. They wanted to focus on panic with this game, and with the tank controls being the way that tank controls be and how powerful these enemies are, they hit the nail right on the head. No mob in this game can be taken lightly, as they're all more or less bigger and badder than the velociraptor, but there are tranquilizers and heavier weapons later on, as well as plenty of health packs, save points, and these resuscitation items that bring you back to life automatically before entering the last door you went through. There isn't a health bar of any kind, and the only way to know if Regina is hurt is by her hobbling or bleeding, so it's usually a safe bet to use these health packs when she hobbles. Regardless, these dinosaurs do not fuck around. So for the most part, you're dodging dinos and picking up health packs, weapons, and ammo, trying to find thing A so you can open door A, just to have to find other thing or things to open other door after that. It mixes in some unique puzzles to not make it feel repetitive, and the door codes were pretty fun to try and decipher, but a notepad is an absolute necessity because of the sheer amount of codes and places to put in codes. The facility isn't too big, so you can usually figure out how to get around, but there were more than a handful of times I had to hit up a guide to figure out what I was even collecting things for. I hate having to do that, but there are so many times in the game where the audio mixing made it difficult to hear what someone told me to do, or the map decided marking the next room objective wasn't necessary, that I was literally stuck running around clicking on rooms that weren't accessible yet, sometimes getting rocked by a velociraptor on the way. You'll look at your loaded inventory of key cards and try the objective door, but no, you must go back into this door to click on this computer you couldn't access before. It's all frustrating and overwhelming, yet rewarding when you put the thought into and figure something out. Puzzles are the name of the game here though, for sure, and I cannot stress that enough. I'm talking 80% puzzles, 20% dinos. There are moments in the game where you can decide to go with Gale's route or Rick's route, Gale usually going with the in-your-face aggressive route and Rick going more technical. It created these immersive RPG elements that I really wasn't expecting this game to offer. Regina's personality being somewhere in the middle of both of these characters made these decisions really exciting, as it felt like you were leaning in one particular direction. The person you don't choose never seems to mind all that much though. They let you know they're doing what they want regardless, and there isn't any chain of command in your squad, so act freely. I have noticed Capcom takes a lot of gambles with their characters on voice lines that become hit or miss.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
I think this works out extremely well with building Regina's character, easily putting her up there in my favorites. She's unfazed when dinosaurs show up, speaks her mind, and comes off as all business for a lot of the game, but isn't too serious to joke around.
Let me guess. This is some of your handiwork, right?
The brass is still warm. These guards were shooting at something very recently.
So who were they fighting?
This wasn't much of a fight. I don't think these guards hit anything before getting sliced and diced. Whatever they were shooting at came in through there, and ripped right through the steel fence.
Well, the hole is nice and clean. But I still say you could have done this.
Very funny.
Her comedy lines hit like Leon Kennedy, and her serious lines hit like Chris Redfield. Severely underrated to the point where I would recommend this game just for her development alone. Oh yeah, Dr. Kirk? That guy running all of this shit? He's the primary villain, and he's not very good or intimidating at all, but he is hilarious.
Precisely. And that is what I have done.
Uh-huh. And how many people were sacrificed before you made this discovery?
Who cares?
There aren't any boss fights with him. He's just a slippery scoundrel mad scientist that you have to keep catching and get answers from. You do have T-Rex boss fights. The same T-Rex that fucked up your teammate Copper in the opening sequence, I think. That aren't all that crazy, but I enjoyed having it as a recurring threat that could show up at any time. Plus, can you really have a dinosaur-themed game and not have a T-Rex as the biggest threat?
No.
This game promotes itself as a high-action, dinosaur-slaying bloodbath, but it's almost false advertising. Anyone unfamiliar with Resident Evil's gameplay going in for what it's advertised as would understandably leave after 20 minutes or so of playing, because not only is this game not what you signed up for, the dinosaur combat by itself isn't anything special. I think in the second game in Dino Stalker they fixed this up, but at that point it feels a little too late for your original fanbase scope. That alone answers why this is a forgotten game, and it's no mystery. But it's still a memorable experience with a lot packed into the 3 to 5 hours the game runs. I feel about the way I expected to after playing. Still prefer Resident Evil because I fucking love zombies, but I am glad I played. I'll probably play the second game for Regina, but I don't have a lot of interest in playing the third game or Dino Stalker. Thanks for watching. This channel is starting to get some depth, and I'm still having a lot of fun with it. Still exploring spooky titles for now, so stay tuned. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.